Red Dust Part 3 Departure by Brad Tuttle, with help from ChatGPT. Chapter 10 Folded Space.
All 7 of the original Unity Ascendant crew joined the mission. Elijah, Annalise, Rashid, Lucia, Victor, Han, and Mei Chin. Together again, not as explorers bound for Mars, but as passengers aboard a vessel bound for the unknown. Beside the humans stood Calarith Toon, Jarella Yen, and a small cadre of alien specialists. The Osha Kai had once carried only a dream of colonization. Now it carried the weight of 2 civilizations. As the last human module was integrated into the alien vessel, Grandpa engaged Xerfecti orpha in a private thread. "Why," Grandpa asked, "do we still require stasis pods if we intend to use folded space?" "Because," Xerfecti orpha answered, "one cannot simply step from here to anywhere. Folded space is not an open sea. It is a river with hidden banks. Entry points must be found and aligned. Some flow true, some lead to ruin. To reach a useful entry point requires time, months in ordinary travel." Grandpa replied that humans dreaded the idea of travel in an empty ship the size of the Osha Kai. From their beginning, when they are very young, people get the willies inside a large, dark, empty building. And now, on top of that, they were being asked to submit to stasis inside pods built entirely by the aliens. The human crew felt utterly vulnerable. "Without stasis," said Xerfecti orpha, "your crew could not endure the long silence of idleness in the journey to our entry point." So the Osha Kai did not immediately leap into folded space, as was portrayed in much of Earth's popular science fiction. Instead, it first bent its course inward, sweeping perilously close to the sun. The ship arced retrograde to the ecliptic plane, diving past streams of solar plasma, so near that human observatories on Earth gasped. The maneuver was no accident. It was a slingshot, a boomerang meant to hurl the ship far above the ecliptic plane of planets, into the higher latitudes where the planned path through folded space could be reached. The trip through normal space took them months. Crew rotations were established. Some slept in the pods, their bodies slowed to a dreaming rhythm, while others woke to maintain watch, adjust instruments, or simply walk the vast pearl-lit corridors. Stasis was not meant to extend life, but to soften the long monotony. It was a sleeping pill for a voyage measured in seasons. It isn't known whether the aliens dreamed during stasis, but the human crew did. All of them dreamed. And what they saw and experienced both fascinated and terrified. They saw worlds covered in color, with flowing billows of scented air, cities filled with alien wonders, and travels to far-flung galaxies where floated even more colorful worlds, as they circled around distant stars of varying intensity. And everywhere they dreamed, they were the aliens with their nondescript facial expressions. And multiple eyes, those eyes, always looking, always searching, never turning. At last the Osha Kai reached the appointed interstellar coordinate. Its hyperdrive systems, dormant since the dawn of Earth's oceans, came alive. Pearlescent panels unfolded like petals. Space itself shimmered and bent, folding inward until the stars seemed to pour through a funnel. Then the ship entered the corridor, not with a jolt, but with a whisk of breath, as though the universe had sighed to allow passage. Inside folded space, no windows mattered. Time blurred, and distance became something other than distance. To human senses, it was only silence, and the steady murmur of Grandpa and Xerfecti orpha, conversing in layered harmonics, adjusting the corridor as one tunes a stringed instrument. To alien senses, it was a familiar yet precarious song. When at last the vessel emerged, it was not at their destination, but still far away. The folded corridor had delivered them near the general region of their ancestral home, but not into its heart. Another year of ordinary travel remained. Again, the stasis cycles resumed. Humans and aliens traded shifts of wakefulness, conversing with each other in the slow space between stars. Then came the final call. Approaching the intraplanetary coordinates of the home system, Everyone was awakened. No pods, no sedation. They would all see it with open eyes. The crew of the Unity Ascendant and the colonists of the Oshore Kai gathered at the viewing chambers. The stars stretched before them, weighted with meaning, older than memory. It was not only a voyage between worlds. It was the binding of two species, two artificial minds, and one fragile hope, that what lay ahead might now be what the aliens once called home. And as they sped forward, that is what unsettled the human crew the most, the realization that they were about to enter a world where they would be the aliens,